Salve amici, welcome to Unus Lapis et Tempus, where every LEGO creation starts one brick at a time. My name is Daniel, and this is my number one favorite MOC I built in 2025. This is the LEGO Sisyphus. This was designed and created by Jason of JK Brickworks. And I absolutely love this MOC. When I first saw this MOC, this had to have been about 10 years ago. He did have a slightly different version 10 years ago, but has since redesigned it to what you now see here. So back in May of 2025, I decided to start piecing and pulling certain parts out of my own collection. And on Bricklink, I would mark down what parts I have just to keep track. And after several months of doing that, I got about 50% of the parts from my own collection. So in November, just before Thanksgiving, I decided to finally start making the Bricklink orders from what I could. My largest Bricklink order had to have been from Jason, from Jason's Bricks and 5. And I decided to pick up the order just because he lives here in Utah, so it's a local pickup. So thank you, Jason. If you don't know Jason, I'd highly recommend watching his channel. Super cool guy. He also does Bricking News, which is a Lego podcast. He does that with Alex Nunes, another awesome guy. So when I got the parts from Jason, picked him up, and that only covered just a few things I needed. So after that, I made a purchase from Jabo. If you know him, he's Brick Czar. And also from Earl, who's Mardi Gras Man 23. All great Lego YouTubers. Highly recommend them. But anyway, I ordered, by the time I got to ordering from Joey, who is Brick Trains on YouTube, he only had a few parts, and it wasn't worth paying all the shipping and handling just for, I think it was like 2 parts. So I made purchases from 2 other stores on Bricklink, as well as Lego's Pick a Brick or Bricks and Pieces, whatever it's called. And once I got my Lego order, because that was the largest, or there's only 3 parts I needed from Lego, which was 120 of the 2x2 tiles in light bluish gray, and over 100 of the 1x4 light bluish gray bricks, which is, as you can see, most of the build. So once I got that Lego order, I started building this, and this was about 2 weeks before Christmas. I finally started building it, and then I got to a certain point where I realized I was still missing a lot of parts. So I went on to Joey Brick Trains on his store and ordered a lot of parts from him. So thank you, Joey. Most of the parts were for Sisyphus. So I'm so glad he had those parts. And once I ordered those parts, I started building other things that I could and still realized that I was missing some. So I ordered a second time from Jason, from Jason's Bricks and Five, and he was so kind enough. He happened to be driving by my house and asked if he could just drop them off instead of shipping it, which I'm not sure how long it would have taken for it to ship. But yeah, so I ordered it. Next day, he asked if he could drop them off, and he did. And I'm so grateful that he did that. I'm very appreciative of him for doing it. I even gave him a few Oswald minifigs just for having him drop it off. So thanks, Jason, for doing that. And then once I got the pieces from Joey, I was still missing one part, which was the 7 light bluish gray torsos, and that was from Lego. And because that was a standard part, not a bestseller, it was coming from overseas. So I finally got those parts on January 2nd. So I was able to finally complete it on January 2nd. But enough talking about it. This is the coolest model I've done. So here we have a scene, or I don't know if it's really called a scene, but Sisyphus and his, I mean, Sisyphus was a pretty evil dude in Greek mythology. He was the king of Corinth, I believe, was the city. But here he is chasing and killing people in his city. I've heard people say this is Hades, but from what I remember in Greek mythology, I believe this was Thanatos, not Hades. So from what I remember in Greek mythology, because Sisyphus told, I can't remember the Greek god, it was the god of river. Zeus took his daughter, and Sisyphus ratted out Zeus. So he told the god that Zeus took his daughter, and Zeus was pretty upset. So he asked or told Thanatos to get Sisyphus. So Thanatos is the Greek god of peaceful death. And what Thanatos does is he takes them to Hades. And so Thanatos was going to lock up Sisyphus, but Sisyphus was able to trick him, and he wound up locking up Thanatos instead and was able to get away. And that's when chaos broke out, when people knew that they couldn't die because Thanatos was chained up. And Ares, the god of war, was angry because killing people wasn't a challenge. So he freed Thanatos, and Thanatos decided to go after Sisyphus. Here it shows Sisyphus at a dinner party and him killing his guests. I guess he liked doing that. And this is Zeus. I mean, Zeus was pretty upset with Sisyphus. So Zeus cursed Sisyphus by he had to push a boulder up a hill, and when he got to the top, it would roll down. So he's spending an eternity trying to push a boulder up a hill, but having it just roll down again. So what I love about this model is it opens up, and I believe this is the first Technic set. I mean, I guess it's not a licensed Lego set, but this is the first Technic model I've ever built. So it's pretty interesting. But there is a battery pack and motor in here. So I mean, it is kind of loud, but that isn't the coolest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, that is loud, but I just love the model. Also, there is a feature where I can move this gear and then pull out this crank as I destroy fix that. But there is a gear here on the side where I can stick this and crank it manually. Which is not as loud. Also, I've always wondered, but if you do it backwards, I was hoping it'd be kind of like the Moonwalk by Michael Jackson, but not really. So, really cool model. So I hope you enjoyed this video of the Lego Sisyphus MOC by Jason of JK Brickworks. Once again, thank you to those awesome Lego YouTubers, Jason from Jason's Bricks and 5, Jabo, Brickzar, Earl, Mardi Gras Man 23, Joey, Brick Trains, and because I didn't order anything from Alex, it was Alex Noons, because he sells sets and not parts, but also a great guy. I highly recommend checking them out on YouTube. The A-Fool podcast is on every 2 weeks, every other Friday. And Bricking News, they do their podcast every Tuesday. Really awesome. I can't recommend them enough. And you have to watch both in order to get their jokes. But really cool community. I enjoy talking to the viewers on the comment section. really awesome community. So please check them out. Can't recommend them enough. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Gratias vobis ego amici. Remember, every LEGO masterpiece starts unus lapis et tempus. Pulchritudo in oculo videntis est. Until next time, lude bene.